Pedazo, there are 6 kinds of purple and about 18 shades of red. The smell of roasted chestnuts bounces and rolls in clumsy bands of boulders down the winding roads from a hilltop village still recovering from World War II. An ancient lady dressed in black and like a Goya portrait haunts the festival space in a hilltop village still recovering from World War II. The trees there are quieter than the tombstones of those who never made it home, and within the smell of coaxing out the warm oil and sweet meat of the chestnuts, it disturbs me that the festival may look similarly again next year, still recovering from World War II. In Pedazo, at dawn, the breeze sweeps with brooms of lavender into the open windows and shadow purply blusters us out of bed. Fresh and with sleep-soaked hair, we brew coffee and laugh like pixies as we put on the clothes we've worn for the past month of catching trains, taking ferries, when the blurred absurdity of life caved under the pressure imposed by joy. I follow the small silhouette of cast by your shoulders, dark and smoke plume blue on the red clay slope, as we wander up the hill to delight in the nectar-sipping moths that disguise themselves as hummingbirds. In Pedazo, just past dawn, we wander down the hill, past the pink house and all the drooping summer flowers bunching and curling the toes of their petals, infusing the air with the noxious, intoxicating scents of their season for sex, and behind their perfume, though, the lavender quietly performing its preening, brushing, sweet, dreamy pruning. We find the patch of crocuses, petals unfurling pastel and silent like the dawn, before the birds unperch and take their chance to sing. In the delicate centers of these crocuses are the scant, spindly towers of saffron, still moist from the hug of their nocturnal enclosure and powdered with pollen. In Pedazo, in the morning, we pick the open crocuses, bring them to the shade of a patio, and spin them upside down with our fingers and handy conversation, gently coax onto some napkins the solitary stigma. The whole table is suddenly a gruesomely dainty mess of disembodied purple petals and shocks of saffron. So delicate is this business dedicated to flowers, so cautionary, adolescent is the love one must bring to them, to impart the world with the sacred flavor of what is fleeting, yet divine because of it. In the chemistry of sun and season, this precious culinary seasoning takes a month in a small patch in Pedazo to fill a jar smaller than a pill bottle in an age still recovering from medicine. In Pedazo, while waiting for the saffron to collect, meanwhile days blanket the globe, meanwhile smells of chestnuts, meanwhile brushing the hair of olive trees with beech rakes, meanwhile sounds of dogs shrieking against the twilight, meanwhile porcupine quills written on the road in previous alarm, meanwhile hauling plastic baskets to the olive oil cooperative refinery, meanwhile hallucinations of frogs in rain from smoking newspapers because we ran out of tobacco. There is a disarray on the tables of the shade house of our spirits of days and colors, sounds and tastes, hummingbirds or moths, lavender alive or dead, bottles of wine open or closed, stink bugs caught in a hellish jamboree of a loose ceiling fan, the sounds of the Rosetta Stone, for you, Yahweh, Yahweh, and for me, Shlusel, Shlusel. We took the key to this enormous freedom and flooded the guest house with bathwater to discover we had no towels, still recovering from joy. In Pedazo, as we leave,
we see the small jar filled with burgundy stigma of the morning task, wondering how that should turn into the green of currency when so much of the love that happened there, as delicate as the purple flower who unfolds before the sun.